You guys want to do something fun? You guys want to learn some stuff? We're not going to be talking trash about Fluke. We're going to be showing you the truth on a couple of different multimeters. Wait for you guys to get in here. Kind of had some battles on the comment sections. I thought it was hilarious. I think they were probably getting heated about it. But I'm going to show you the reason why I made the video about the Fluke and why I put that it lied on the thumbnail. It kind of irritated you guys a lot. What you're going to see here right off the bat, this meter says OL on it, which basically means that there's nothing going on with this meter. Let me get the chat going here. We're going to do a lot of crazy fun things tonight. I think we're going to take apart the air conditioner circuit and bring it over here. Maybe I'll bring a table saw circuit over here. We've got a new multimeter that we're going to thoroughly investigate. I guess you would say we're going to thoroughly investigate this because I've had the 460, which is a very good meter. A very good meter, the 460. But this is the 440, and it has a lot of features. I have not ever had this meter before. I've had the other one, and if I'm going to keep it, we're going to thoroughly investigate it. I've used way too many Fieldpiece in my career, so I know what to expect and how they should act. No, this is the 440. So we got a lot of things going on. First, right off the bat, we are going to show you why we said what we said about the Fluke, because a lot of people got their feelings hurt. Also, I made a mistake. I went to Lowe's and I grabbed some bits and I grabbed the wrong ones and I talked trash about them. And oh man, I was wrong. So basically what I said about the Fluke is that it's not great for troubleshooting. When I think of Fluke, I think of the most reliable, trust your life with meter that I'm not going to be running around from receptacle to receptacle in a house, beating around, putting down really quickly, troubleshooting, picking the meter back up, seeing what it's doing, hanging it on stuff, banging it around. If you're spending this kind of money on a multimeter that's capable of all the features, you don't want to use something very expensive. You want to use kind of a beat around, knock around multimeter that I would not really trust my life with. I wouldn't trust my life with this meter if I was on 480 or whatever. I don't even know if this thing can do 480. It doesn't even matter. What this meter does really well is that it actually reads through your body. So if I go one finger here and I go one finger here, you're going to see where we get a scale here. And that's because it's reading through my body. Okay, most Flukes can't do this. So when you're trying to troubleshoot a circuit and you're trying to verify is the freaking thing grounded to the hot or not, and the Fluke is over here, it's beeping, and it's like, yeah, but also saying OL on it, not too confident in what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? I like my ideal meters a lot. The ideal is something that anyone can afford. They're like $100 usually. They used to be at Lowe's. You used to be able to walk in, grab the ideal. It had the NCV. It had the NCV button. I miss the NCV button. Nice YouTube beanie. Appreciate it. They sent it to me. So some milestone of doing something. And then they sent me another gift and I put in the code. And I wasn't supposed to click back on that page or whatever. The page failed to load. And I pushed back and then it counted like I already used the code. So I missed out on who knows what. I don't even know what they're going to send me. But they sent me a couple of things now, which is pretty cool. I like the bottom read on the bottom. Okay, this one does not have the bottom read on the bottom, but I do like that. I think we're gonna get pretty detailed with tonight, and I don't know if I want to bring the extension cord from the table saw and plug it into something over here behind me, one of these wires, right? Power it up and then read some voltage drop connections. I want to see if this thing can do true voltage drop. But your Fieldpiece, the swivels, is a great feature. I sold it. I gave it away. I couldn't breathe around it. I've got some news about that, but before we get into that, I want to, do we want to do it to the heater / air conditioner, or do we want to do it to the table saw? We can check the table saw to see how many amps. How many amps is the table saw? 7? Heater's gonna be like 16. I think we might have more fun taking apart the heater. But then I have to put it back together. What do you guys want to do? Table saw? Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna get the table saw extension cord over here, and then we'll get some baseline voltages. I've already got the cord, it's already plugged in. I don't have to go very far. I'm gonna bring you guys with me though, because we're gonna be kind of all around the shop. What's up, Jamie True? What's up, John? The heater's probably gonna be 1500 watts, which is 12.5 amps, yeah. This is actually a 240 volt heater on a 20 amp circuit, so it might be closer to 2000. But either way, I don't really want to read 240. I'd rather read one leg of 120 and keep it simple. So let's try that. I lost it today and got sent home from work. What happened, man? Why'd you lose it? You got to deal with abuse. You're going to be an electrician. That's what happened. That's probably what happened. I threatened to kick this guy's ass, man. Of course I wasn't listening because I was young and learning, I guess. This dude was like retired military, used to be a watchman and had PTSD. And I'm not saying that to make fun of him. This is really what he had. And hats off to any vet, man. You guys go through a lot and we don't do enough for you guys. So hats off to any vet out there. Anyway, he was a watchman, had PTSD, and I wasn't following simple instructions. And he took my Knipex. This was back in 2009. Took my Knipex and threw him on the floor. Oh, dude, gloves were off after that, man. I was ready to fight. You don't throw my Knipex on the floor, especially in 2009. It was hard to find those things in 2009. It's one store. One store in Fort Worth, J.L. Matthews. One of the best stores off of Felix Street, if you don't know. I seem to have dropped something. I don't need to get to this saw, but I don't want to not make sure that the blade is safe. So we have to check some things on it. See, the blade is, so good thing we didn't start. Been terrible. Now I'm kind of curious on how that even got latched. That can't be good. Kids playing with the saw. Then we want to look down there and make sure there's nothing there. That's probably good. I don't think there's anything in there. Okay, so... Okay, that's going to be good. Let's get it plugged in. So you guys are set for a second. That'll work. Okay. Yeah, We're going to plug it in here because this has power. What's up, Jeremy? Okay, people won't shut the fuck up. When you know what you're doing. Yeah. That's part of it, man. People are going to give you a hard time even if you're doing good. Especially if you're doing good. Let's hit the power button and see what happens. Okay. So we have power there. And we are getting power from this GFCI. So we are somewhat safe. What we want to do though, we want to be less safe, unfortunately. And I think I want to bring power out to here on the table and then plug this thing into a receptacle in a Frankenstein manner. Like that. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So let's see here. We could just mount that right to the wall here and then just run some cable all around haphazardly. That would be a little bit safer. And then we could test the Wago connections and look at the voltage drop of a Wago versus a wire net. That would also be cool. Let's do that. So this is our power coming in. This is awful. But this is so we can see the amperage, right? We're going to leave these connections the hell alone. We're going to play with these connections while they're live. And we're going to energize the with the cable here. And actually, no, we can cap this off. This gets capped off. We don't need to be messing with this. But we're just going to leave it alone. So, okay, we got a game plan. We know what we're doing. Cool. Let's get... I'm going to start with the chat. Back to this setup, in case you guys didn't know. This is probably going to be the setup that I'm going to recommend. It's basically a DeWalt tool pouch, 3-tier. This goes all the way deep like this, so you can fit your channel locks and shit, the tall ones. You got 2 loops here. You've got whatever storage you need in there. And then you've got a secondary with 2 storages here. So this is going to be the one. It just gets too heavy. Vito's a great pouch, but realistically, you can't put all this crap on your hip. So even whenever you're wearing this and you're going around the house troubleshooting, it's too much weight. Okay, so we got our super safe tape here. Let's see here. Okay, we're just gonna... Should be fine. We'll find out. It's got a GFCI, and I'm not that worried about it. Just a little bit of electricity. It's not like it can kill you. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to plug this in. Now, before, okay, did you guys see that? That thing just popped out of there. These are the Harbor Freight ones. We're going to be messing with these here really soon, like tonight, really soon. And checking them versus the Wago. You're going to see it's not even in there. Watch, watch, watch. It's not even in there, guys. What the heck? You really got to pay attention with these Harbor Freight Wagos. There we go. Man. They're huge too. That's crazy. Okay, we can read amperage on just about any one of these. but we want to make our loop big enough to where we can easily read it. So I'm going to just split some of this Romex down. That way we can get a better view of what's going on the circuit. There we go. Okay, get this one here. Okay, there we go. Now we want to give these a little twist. I still want to be safe with this, right? We are going to give them a little twist and we are going to tape them up. It's going to look ghetto, but I don't want them to come apart. I just want to be able to pull them apart myself. And then I have no interest in looking at these connections here. So we are going to be taping these up too, just for safety, just to make sure nothing too crazy happens. So, yeah, just a little bit of tape. There we go. Little strain relief. I've been sent worse pictures from contractors expecting to pass their finals. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Okay. We are going to take this box off now. Okay. It'd be nice if we could mount that right there, wouldn't it? We can mount that right there. That would be pretty sweet. I think all the action here. So I think we will. Bear with me. Also, we can check to make sure this plug hasn't been abused. Looks like good connections in there. And we're bonded. The box is bonded back there. So that is probably a good thing. Let's go ahead and get one screw. That'll work. My box cover is upside down, but that's okay. Plug's upside down too. Okay, this goes over here in the plastic box for safety. This comes over here. Gotta put my wire stretcher on it. I think it might be fun to check the connections on the new Leviton plugs too. You guys like the new Leviton plugs? I don't like them. What do I have? That's a regular plug. Here's a switch. Switch is tempting. You want to do a switch? No, let's not do a switch. Sorry, I'm looking for a plug. Huh. Should have brought you guys with me. I just don't know what's in these drawers because could have paperwork from where I work in here. We'll just do this. we will just do this with the cover here. Let me catch up on the chat while you guys are talking. I won't shut the fuck up when you know it. Oh, okay, hang on. What's up, Lucas? What's up, Russ? What's going on? I'll be streaming in 22 hours and I gotta go by. Now? Just sent you an email, Shrush. I gotta go. Tools and Texas is streaming before I'll join. I gotta go with tools. I don't know what that means. Finally a beneficial live, maybe? Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. So, we are just gonna wire this thing and wrap it with tape for speed. And I'm going to turn off the GSCI here. There, power's off. These wires should be off. I've actually got a new FLUKE here I could show you guys, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so this wire should be energized, this one, and this ground here. I'm about to move you guys closer. Let me go get that FLUKE. Okay, so I finally broke down and bought another one. It's hard to deny how good this is. It's 50 bucks. I've got another one just like it on the floor over there. But if you guys don't know, I can't breathe next to it. I can show you my old one, but I'm willing to send it to somebody if they want it, but you guys don't want what I've got over here as far as what I've been going through. So it's got a battery on it. Plug that in. It's got a flashlight to let you know it's on, which is one of my favorite things. What's really cool about this is that it doesn't beep. It doesn't do anything irritating. It only lights up, and it's very accurate. So if we were to, let me energize this so you guys can see. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you. When you get close to voltage, it turns blue. And when you find the voltage, it turns red. It's that simple. I kind of want to show you guys closer because it's so... I've used this since the days of Sears. So when you're close to voltage, it's blue. When you get on the voltage, it turns red. And it just, there's no, it doesn't beep, it doesn't false alarm. It's either on or off. When you're close, it's blue. On it, it's red. Very reliable. Good hot stick to let you know what's going on with the circuit. So if we turn off our GSCI here, on button, there we go. You'll see no more voltage. Okay. Now, should we be playing with this without checking with a meter? No. But I closer here. we're going to cut the new copper like I always do. Practice what you preach, right? Right? Can't talk. Strip those down. Go ahead and wrap this around. Some needle nose here. And we want this connection to be really good. I don't want to have any voltage drop on this. I want it to be a very reliable connection. Get the neutral going. And the ground. Now for the purpose of this video, I'm going to pull these wires out because they don't go anywhere and they might look confusing. We'll leave the ground in there because it's already intact. Okay. If you're wondering why it looks like we're tightening or loosening instead of tightening, it's because the camera is backwards right now. All the grounds are wrapped the right way. All the wires are wrapped the right way. Everything's good. And we're just going to tape the crap out of it. Like all around it. All right, let's plug it in and see what we got. So, here goes the Knipex knife. And then maybe we can mimic some scenarios where we don't have the safest thing going on. Okay, so there we go there. I'll leave this down here. This is so you guys can see the amperage readings here. And I'm probably going to move the camera closer. This is our plug. This is what we're going to be plugging the table saw into. And then we'll capture the input on these wires here. Let me tighten this up. Okay. I'm gonna turn power back on. Cool. I'm glad it actually turned back on. All right, we are gonna do this now. We're gonna get you guys real close. This is what we got going on. We have voltage here, so we can go turn our table saw on at any time. This is gonna be our power. So our power comes from here. And it's gonna give this power, right? When we turn our table saw, the amperage is gonna go through the circuit, through this wire, into this plug, back to the source. So we're going to be able to measure everything here. And this way we can compare Wagos. We can compare Harbor Freight connections versus Wago connections. We can compare ideal connections versus Wagos. We can get all the amperage. We can get all the inrush of a motor. We can do a lot of things because this meter here has millivolts and inrush and a lot of features here that I need to test to see if this is going to be my everyday carry meter. Might catch up with the chat here in a second, but we're going to get this thing started. So now you guys know what we're doing. This is all energized. We are going to go ahead and turn the saw on and see what amperage it pulls. Let's go turn it on. Now I might turn on my noise cancellation. Is it on? Did this thing die? Is that dead? That's not good. Is that better, guys? The audio. Hang on. Well, that's reliable, isn't it? That's real reliable. All right, we're gonna go amperage here. .34 amps. .1. Okay, a couple of things happened here, right? My chat froze, so I can't see where I'm at with you guys in the chat. The sound broke, so can't see what's going on with the sound. This thing's literally stuck. So that's nice. Won't even turn off. So what I'm going to do, hopefully you guys can hear me. I think you guys can. I feel like the phone does a better job of noise cancellation anyway. Oh, we just got it reset. I will try it one more time. I don't trust it. But we can try it. It might work. I don't actually know where I put it in my... Oh my God. There's always something, right? This stuff is never smooth. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna fix the chat so I can see where you guys are at. Hang on, I just gotta toggle it to top to all because YouTube stopped the chat. Okay. Kids will have trouble sleeping now. Cut some wood, yeah. 6.3 light work. What about on startup? Exactly. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the startup. Meanwhile, I kind of want to see where I put that freaking mic because something happened with the sound. And now I don't know if I can trust that thing because it's gonna freak out again. So let's just leave it there if you guys can hear me. But I feel like it's going to be loud. If you bog down the saw, will it trip the breaker? No. No, not on this wiring. This wiring is fairly new. Okay, so you can see we're at 6.3 amps, 6.3 amps. So we know it's 6.3 amps. Let's get our clamp meter out here, and we will check it out here. Let me see. Cool. There you go. So this is how it comes. Nine-volt battery, so that's something to keep in mind. It's hard to find 9-volt batteries in the wild, so you want to make sure you've always got an extra 9-volt battery with you. Toshiba. Got the leads. You got the thermocouple. I like that. That is, I mean, just clearly designed for troubleshooting. Nice tiny meter. You guys know how small the FLUKE is. The SC660? 460. I've had the 460 before. It's about to here, and the head articulates and tilts and does all that stuff. So this is probably a better meter for a technician to fit in their tool pouch than the larger Fieldpiece. Not too big. It's got some range. We've got temperature, non-contact voltage, microfarads. Then you got diode, continuity, and ohms. Then you've got the off, the hertz, the amperage AC, the volts AC, the volts DC, the hertz, so it does frequency. And then you get something called microamps DC, which is useful for heater controls, because the way that your furnaces know the gas and heat is flowing is basically as a flame sensor. And that flame sensor actually puts a little bit of voltage across the flame and uses it as the ground. So without the flame, it knows to shut the solenoid for the gas. That way you're not pouring gas in your house. So this is very useful for HVAC, and that's basically what this thing is for. Now, of course, it's Fieldpiece, so they gave us a nice magnet there to snap on there. And this is the worst part about Fieldpiece, is this little hinge here and installing the battery. It's always fun. So don't ever open these up if you're on a scissor lift or somewhere where you can afford to drop everything, because this is a two-piece design, if you will. You'll see in a second. Still got to get some leads out of here. This is going to pop up. This is going to fall like it always does. We're not going to turn it upside down, although I think it still has screw catches on the back. It does have screw catches on the back. Going to get the battery. Looks like we've got, what is that? Do not switch from J2. Well, then why would you give me a switch? I'm so confused right now. If it needs to stay on J2, why not just leave it on J2? Interesting. Let's plug this in without breaking it. Perfect. That goes in there. This sits right on top just for now. This sneaks behind there like that. and we are golden. Now, how good is this magnet? Let me show you. First off, it feels like a nice light multimeter. It's not very heavy. We can compare it to the FLUKE. It's slightly heavier than the FLUKE, and I'll get a scale out for you in a second. Let me get the leads that this comes with, because it has a lead storage here, but it does not have lead storage here. And I'd have to think, does the 660, the 460 have lead storage? I don't know if I'm keeping this yet, because I've had the 60 series, and I liked it. Got the gold on the tips there. That unplugs in case you break it. You got more contact here, less contact there. Nice nylon lead set. Does this clamp play well with others? Yes. Yes, it does. Leads aren't too long. When you switch it to temperature, this closes so you can't plug leads in. Common there. Okay, let's get it on. So we're going to go with ohms here. It's already ranging on mega ohms, so I should be able to put this to my finger and I should get a reading on this. 2.25 mega ohms there. So you're reading through my body. That's what we're doing here. You can see that. And if we touch it, do we get a beep? We don't get an audible beep without hitting select. And now we've got the ring icon there. Should get the audible. Oh, I like that. We also get a nice visual there, which makes me excited. The question is, do we get the... Let me see if I can catch up with the chat. Possibly turn this camera around too. Sorry, I've only got so much to work with here. Switch the temperature and can't plug leads in. No, you switch the temperature that you can't plug the leads in. Ohms reading, yeah. So, how good is the magnet? Let's see. Got some conduit here. There you go there. We can just snap it on there and let it go. There you go. Definitely really nice on the side of HVAC units, no doubt about it. It's made for troubleshooting, guys. The days of you not having a spot to put your meter and having to hold this while you're trying to read this with no clamp leads and all that. This is a $120 meter. This thing's $200 and it has 27,000 more features than this. Is this more reliable? Do I trust this with my life? Yes. If I was going industrial and I was going to get on a scissor lift and break apart some 480 volt joints, which one would I use? I would use the FLUKE. If I was to go to a house and I wanted to check all the readings of receptacles and have all the ins and outs, I would use this. Okay, so let's do this. Sorry, phone was sideways. Let's get the inrush figured out. There's the inrush button right there. So what I can do, it also has dual screens here. So if I hit, I believe, range. Yeah, it's got millivolts right there. If I hit select, you're going to get your amperage reading simultaneously with your voltage, which is relevant for troubleshooting. You're doing infrared. We're going to go ahead and hit the inrush feature right here, right now, like this. And it should be ready. So if I turn on this saw, we should be able to capture the inrush. Now, ideally, we want to kind of be in the middle. of, I want to be in the middle of the wire, at least not pulling on it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we're ready to capture the inrush. I believe it's 6 times. Is it 6 times the regular current for inrush, or is it 3? We're gonna find out. We're gonna turn on this saw. Saw is off. We've already captured the inrush on it, so let's see what it is. Inrush current is 33.97 amps. And that's how you do inrush. So 3 times 6, 36. Yeah, it's about 6 times the regular current would be the inrush. So yeah, pretty dead on. This would probably be a little bit more accurate if you look at the back of this, just see what I'm talking about. It wants you to line the wire up right there and right there for maximum accuracy, and not so much on the side. But so far, liking this meter. Liking the lead storage. It has a flashlight, so it has a flashlight when you open the jaw clamp. That is nice. Let's see how it works. Does it make that much of a difference if we're like underneath something? It's not bad. Could be better. Not bad though. You're trying to read a label or something in the dark. I think you could do it. Millivolts. Let's check out the millivolts. This one's going to be cool. We're going to check the actual connections of what's going on here. So we can, what can we do? We can unplug this. We can unplug that. And then we will strip. We'll strip the neutral more. We'll expose more copper here. Your laptop's crapping out? Uh-oh. What is RF? Okay, so we were unplugged. We should be safe. Yeah. We're going to pop these off here. And we are going to strip more. Can I get more? Yeah, we can. Come on. Not really what these are designed for, but they can do it. There we go. Now, I do want them to be kind of even that way. We're not fighting the actual push connector. There we go. We're gonna plug these back in here and here. Did that go? Yeah. Okay, now we got exposed copper. So now we can read from this point to this point. We can read the voltage drop across this connector, which is kind of cool. Let's see what it says. And then we'll experiment by lifting these up slowly but carefully. Maybe we'll be careful. We'll see. Okay, we have active voltage now. Let me put you guys on a tripod, I think. That's what I'm gonna do. You guys would be happier if I put you guys on a tripod, I think. So, bear with me here. Oh. We should have one here just waiting. There it is. the one you guys are going on. So gotta put the swivel on. Bear with me. If it was easy, everyone would do YouTube. Okay. It's expensive, I'll tell you that. Okay, where's the neutral here? Neutral's here. Get that out of the way. Yeah, these are the connections here. So that is energized right now. It's the neutral, so you can't really tell. But an open neutral will always show voltage. So if we were to open this up, no, not going to do it. Let's just see what we got. So right now, with no potential, if we go here to volts, and let's get you the light. I'm going to see if I can sneak this back behind here where you guys can always read the voltage. Kind of. Out of the way. There we go. If we go neutral, neutral to ground, what do we get? 0 volts, as we should. If we go hot, which I should just plug that in there. We go hot to neutral. Should get 120, and we get a nice little visual there that we found voltage. I like that. One of my favorite features of the T5 is that you get that nice little visual. Okay. Let's see what the voltage drop is. Now, we might not be able to read anything, and most multimeters can't. So this isn't something that any multimeter can do. You need about a $400 Fluke to start doing this. This is the $200 multimeter. You're going to see we receive 0 volts. That's normal. We might need to go with the hot to do this. We're going to find out. If we hit range here, we're going to get into a range something called millivolts. Right there, millivolts. We should be able to read a difference in the voltage, but there probably is no voltage here because it's a neutral, but let's just see. So now when you go to this range of voltage, you can see where we do have a 0.5 millivolt drop across this connection. 0.3. Okay? If we rough these connections up, which is kind of dangerous, shouldn't do this. Well, it's plugged in anyway. Let's see if we can get a drop. And I think we can probably plug these into these leads, which is what makes this really cool. You can unplug these here. Unplug this straight in. That way we can get one hand completely free with this setup. Try that again. And we're safer messing with the neutral than we are the hot. That's why we're messing with the neutral. Okay, doesn't want to exactly grab there. There we go. So if we go here, you're going to see where we are at. We're dropping down to 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. Let's see if we drop all the way back down to where we originally were. 0.3. So we're back to where we were. Let's unplug this to where we're safer. Let's loosen this connection just slightly. This is going to mimic a loose connection like a switch. And we'll plug this back in. We might get an arc. What are we going to get? To see where we're getting. It's kind of ranging all over the place because it is a loose wire. Even with me holding it still, it's going to kind of jump around. Let's put the plug on it. I'm going to unplug it for safety. So we're going to go from here to here. Right now we're measuring across the connection of the Wago, basically. Except that we've botched this connection on purpose. Because you can see where it's barely in there. Let's plug it in and see what we get. Doesn't act like we have anything there. We're going to strip more so we can show you guys better. So far, it looks like a winner as far as all the features. But I do want to see the difference of a Wago right here versus a Harbor Freight connector. So we were sitting at 0.3 with the Harbor Freight connector. Let's see if we can get a better connection there. And as the amperage rises, we are going to get more of a voltage drop. That's just the way it works. So we'll go here with the hot. We'll go here with the other side there. Plug it in. It's dangerous. And I think we're sitting at 0.3, or are we not connected at all? Yeah, so we got it's dropping down there to a 0.3. Now, if we turn this on, you're going to see where we're really going to test this connection integrity. Sorry, these clamps are very fidgety. We'll go ahead and turn the motor on and let's see what we get on the millivolts. I wonder if we can also see, if we hit select, can we see the regular volts up here? That'd be crazy. The hertz, the amps, the hertz. Let's go turn it on and see what we get. So we're getting 4.4. I'm going to turn it off. Drop down to a 0.3, 0.2, 0.2. So you can see where the amperage plays a factor on your voltage drop. Absolutely. But pretty solid connection here. 0.30 is usually a good sign of a problem. I've seen 100 on breakers at certain data centers I can't mention the name of. But I've seen 300 on square D breakers in certain data centers I can't mention. But I kind of want to play with this connection. So we had a 0.3 and we had a 4.5 or 6. I want to put a wire nut on this and see what the voltage drop looks like versus a Wago, because this will truly show you a Wago versus a wire nut. So there's no more speculation here. It's going to be, hey, this is a Wago versus a wire nut connection. What do we get? I got to find a wire nut. Hang on a second. Should be one in this bag here. We'll just use this. This is rated. It's copper on copper. Basically the wire nut has nothing to do with the way that it's connected. So we're just going to take a regular wire nut here, twist it together like this. Just like that. And we got to separate the copper. So let's see if we still have a copper on copper connection inside there, or is it just twisted? We'll take that all day. Tighten that up. 0.3 is standard for our voltage drop. That's what we've gotten so far. And clamp it here. Clamp that one there. Plug it in. So we're still sitting at 0.2 actually. So we're sitting at 0.2 versus a 0.3. That's already a sign of improvement, possibly. Let's go turn the motor on and see what millivolt drop we get based on a wire nut versus a Wago. And that was a Wago, not a Harbor Freight connector. I just heard my meter turn off. Hang on. Oh, different meter. Okay. It's twice as good. This is twice as good as a Wago. Sorry if I was yelling. This is twice as good as a Wago. 2.4. That's, I mean, how much better can you get? This is energized, by the way, right now. We are energized, so we have power here. Sorry, that's a neutral. We have power here on the hot. We're working with a neutral, that way I can touch it and not get hurt. Yeah, Wago is 4.4, 4.6. Wire nut is 2.4 millivolt drop with a load. Let's see what the Harbor Freight Wago produces. Let's find out. Or actually, you know what? We're going to do this first. Let's do a push-on. Because I actually like the push-ons. I feel like they have a little bit better bite because it's not just based on the clamp just holding. It actually grabbed it in a way. So if you ask me, I feel like the clamp is probably better, but I also feel like the clamp is more susceptible to movement. We'll cut to new copper. I messed up. What was I thinking? We gotta strip all this again. Here we go. So So here's a push on. This is actually an ideal, I think. I think that's an ideal. Should say it on there. We're going to use it. We're going to push it on there and see what we get. Okay. We are fully seated in there. You can see the copper in the top of the connection there. Let's clamp these on here. So far, versus any Fluke that I've used, this is still better. Sorry. Just does more. It just does more, man. When you can do this with your Fluke for 200 bucks, you can call me. But this is putting a lot of information at your fingertips, and you're not paying to play. You're just getting it done, basically. You can learn a lot with just these meters. All right, we're going to plug it in and see what happens. So we are at a 0.2, 0.3-ish. 0.3 was the lever nut. 0.2 wire nut range. 0.1 was definitely wire nut range. Let's turn it on and see what we get. .5, so it's still not as good as a wire nut. About the same as a wire nut, actually. Surprising. Let's see what the Harbor Freight connectors can do versus the Wagos. So we're still going to use the neutral. What we're going to do, we're going to pop this off. Well, we're going to leave this alone, actually. We're going to keep all the same baseline. We're not going to change anything except for this connector. Let's see. Here comes the Harbor Freight connector. Lock that in there. Lock that on there. Yeah, we're definitely at the face of the connection. Just plug this in. And select that there. Can you guys see it? Yes, you can. Okay, here we go. .2, they're worse. Well, I got to tell you, I wasn't expecting that. They're actually worse. So they are worse than the Harbor Freight Connect. The Harbor Freight is definitely worse than the Wago connections. You saw it here first with actual numbers. Let's get a ideal. Let's do this. Let's just take this wire nut like this, and we're just going to twist it. We're not even going to let the wires spin. We're just going to do this really quick, just like this, just 3 turns like this. Copper is touching. It's definitely relying on the wire nut to be present. If not, this would spring open. I want to see what the voltage drop is on this. And then I'll tell you what this all means in a second. 2.29. We can probably change this real time just by tightening this a little bit more. See, we're down to 2.8. We're not going to go back up to 2.9 because I'm making the connection better. So as I tighten this, you're going to see where that connection is going to get that much better. 2.6 now. And I'm going to continue to tighten this. See if I can get it to 2.5. But it's kind of dangerous. Got it to 2.5. There you go. So, just showing you the differences and that we definitely know what we're talking about. Okay, sorry, yelling again. We started off 2.7, we tightened it, got to 2.6, tightened it more, got to 2.5. We definitely know what we're talking about here. Now what I want to do is just tighten these with just some climbs. Pre-twist if you guys will. And let's see, we are unplugged, okay. We get a little pre-twist here, copper on copper action, like this. We're not going to put a wire nut on it. We're just going to pre-twist it. And then we got to make sure nothing's touching. So that's isolated there. Slide that boot back up. There we go. Let's grab that there. Okay, let's plug it in. Now you can see we are actually dropping to 0.1 now, which we didn't do before. So let's see if we can get an all-time low with a pre-twist with no wire nut. And these are definitely not touching each other right now. .6. Still better than a Wago. I am curious what happens if we put a wire nut on this, just to see. I want to give it the best. I want to give it the best chance. I'd like to see a 2.5. 2.6 is pretty damn low though. Okay, the only change is that we have put a wire nut on there and cut it flush. And let's go check. Got a 0.1. .8. You can see as we touch it, we get down to a 2.3, but when we let it go, it goes back up to a 2.6-ish. And now the last one that I want to check is the ideal. Where is it? Ah, crap. I gotta find a blue ideal lever nut. They are my favorite. I'm curious what they do. So far, the Harbor Freight was a 6. All forms of Wago, all forms, whether it was the push or the lever nut, were 4.5s. And then your twisted connections and your direct copper connections were in the twos, 2.1, sorry, 2.6, average 2.5 as a ultimate low. Is this interesting, guys, or is it just me? For me to use a multimeter and trust it and everything about it, know what I'm troubleshooting, what I'm looking at, I've got to do this stuff myself anyway. So I was going to do this regardless. But glad you guys are here with me, and glad I could show you guys something different for a change instead of just the same old content or fixing my roof or something. Let me know if you guys appreciate it. What we've learned is that Wagos are not that great. Okay, we need to find an ideal lever nut. Testing is great. Nice, nice. What's going on, Shroosh? Shroosh, where did you put my ideal lever nuts? I just need one. I just need one, Shroosh. Okay, hang on. I know I've got one somewhere. So far, I feel like the ideal is going to give us the best case scenario for quality, just based on how they lock in. If they're less, it would be pretty surprising for me. Okay, hang on. We gotta have one. I think I know where some are. No, see, that's all real wire nuts. Got a Harbor Freight garbage. Damn. Can't find one. Wait a second. Let me put you guys here for now. Okay, what we're looking for is an ideal lever nut. One of the blue ones. I use them the most, so it would be nice to know if they're good or not. I use them so often, I don't know if I have any. See, all I got is crappy Wagos. Dude. All right, lights coming on. Put it over here. We are not giving up. We just need one. I found one. We got one. Okay. Knock, knock. What's going on, buddy? Okay. We are going to find out. So, what we know so far is that when checking the voltage drop, the wire nut was a 2.5 on average. The Wagos were a 4.5. The Harbor Freight Wagos were a 6 point something. Doesn't even matter. 3 times more than a wire nut. And we're going to see the reliability of these ideals. So that's what we're doing. If you just got here. Let's lock it in. I like these because, man, it's almost like they plug in. Like they just feel, they don't even flick like off. Like other connectors want to fall off. These just kind of plug in. So I don't feel like they're going to move around in a junction box as much. Okay, we are locked in. We're going to take one of these here. Take one of those there. And then we'll do something interesting with some parallel paths here in a second. Okay, we're going to plug it in. We got 0.2, 0.2, 0.3 I'm seeing. So as this moves around, no, pretty sturdy. Okay. Let's plug it in. Let's turn it on. We will see what we got here. Move that out of the way. Okay. We are ready. I'm going to turn it on. Oh no. The Wagos are better. The Wagos are better. So let's do this really quick, right? We just saw a 5.3. We're going to pop this off right now. And we're going to put a Wago on right now. So I've got a brand new Wago here. Let's pop the Wago on. Wagos were a 4.5 before. Are the Wagos superior? We're going to let you guys know right now. Plugging it in. I don't feel like it plugged in. It did plug in, but I think my saw has a safety to where you can't turn it on by plugging it in. That's actually really nice. I gotta go and plug my saw and plug it back in. That is actually a nice feature. Wow, that's impressive. Let me find that out. .1. Let me see how it's grabbing here. See, I knew I didn't want to move too much because I've lost a little bit of integrity with the test. Oh yeah, look, we're not even grabbing it. There we go. Damn. Okay. Darn. We gotta redo that. Let's check the Wago, and then we'll check the ideal lever nut. The black wasn't even grabbing, so redo. .8, that's a good number. That's a pretty impressive number from Wago there. Let's try the ideal. That, no doubt, I probably dropped through and lost. No, it's right here. Just kidding. Okay. Yeah, so my saw actually has a feature where you can't turn it on by plugging it in. If you left it on, it will not turn on. You have to go over there and turn it on yourself. That's pretty cool. Okay, this is the last one. The ideal. How does it hold up against the Wago? Oh, actually, it's comparable. Okay, this is good. Okay, so if I had to pick one, I would pick the ideal. Just because they plug in nicer. When they plug in, they actually like lock in. So that is pretty cool. So what we were just doing is called voltage drop. It's not the 2 times I times K times L divided by the CMA that you guys know is voltage drop. It's connection points and how much voltage drops across connections. Not very many multimeters can do it without spending an arm and a leg. So I'm trying to think, is there any other features we need to check out on this multimeter? I think we just about covered everything on this multimeter, man. It's actually a really impressive tool for 200 bucks. It even does inrush and has clamp flashlight and lead storage. I like that. That's a cool feature right there. The unplugging leads. So based on what we just saw, now we know that the Harbor Freight connectors are 3 times worse than the Wago. And all Wagos are 2 times worse than a wire nut. Now that's only 7 amps. So the more current that you have on something, the more voltage drop you're going to get. About 30 milliamps at 16 amps. I'm sorry, 30 millivolts at 16 amps is the limit of what you want. I'm going to disconnect this. Just for safety. go. Let's put that back deep in the box. Okay. Now, if someone says to you, Wagos are better than wire nuts, you can tell them, well, actually, at 7 amps, the Wagos drop 6 millivolts versus wire nuts with 2. And the Harbor Freight ones drop even more. So I did the math, 28 amp hour, 40 volt batteries is half a Tesla in kilowatts. Why isn't the front pack a thing? They have the Cybertrucks now. I've been doing a lot of inspections on those for, you know, backfeeding your house. Those are becoming pretty popular with just the gateways. I saw a gateway today that didn't have any way for grid isolation, or no, generator isolation. They tried to put a Tesla power wall. Now what they do? They just had solar. They just had solar with generators, and you can't do that because your solar will feed your generator just like it feeds the grid. So, let me see here. So I catch up with the chat. Way too qualified. Basket weaving. Yeah, tell the Lego to Lego. From what YouTube has taught me, corded tools are always better than 10-year-old battery tools with a 2 amp hour battery. And if you buy anything other than Milwaukee, you don't know what you're talking about. That's true. Don't forget about batteries. Because Man Caver Tools and Rebels recommends the Link system and the Bear recommends Bauer. Someone else said Makita is the best and most solid tool company. Dang. Makes me wonder what voltage drop is push-in type receptacle. Man, that's interesting too. It's all a factor, right? It all adds up to more load basically throughout the whole circuit. The biggest thing is just the connections, man. You guys gotta be using torque wrenches. This is a cheaper torque wrench, but it's actually works pretty well. I've compared it to my Weehaw, my $300 Weehaw, and this does just as good, if not better, because you've actually got a whole handle on it versus the Weehaw is very not easy to grab. So torque wrench, torque screwdriver, yeah, make sure your connections are tight. Another thing is whenever you're tightening your breakers, if it's a bolt-on bus, you want to use this type of screwdriver here. Not a tenon one. Because the tenon ones start thick up here, so by the time you get beside your breaker, you start off at an angle trying to tighten your screws. And man, it cams out every time. Pretty much every job site I go to that has bolt-on breakers, I'll take a flashlight and look down them, and I find at least 6 that's messed up. Yeah, using an impact as a torque wrench as a Muggaduggas, yeah. I've actually been sent a proof of torque, and the proof of torque was emailed to my city email as an electrical inspector. I open it up, and the dude's got his Milwaukee with a freaking impact, I think a 5/16 on the meter, just I was like, man, that is not what we're talking about. I was like, it's probably tight, but there's no way. Using mid torque, yeah. Yeah, man, people are crazy. What's up, Bay? Yeah, what's going on? So the takeaway tonight is that $200 meter. Let's look at this very basic Fluke, right? And we can compare it to even the T6. The T6 does not do more than 3,000 ohms. The T6 does not have NCV, or the T6 might actually. This has a light. That's pretty much what it's got going for it. The T5 doesn't have anything, and it's about 150. The multimeter we're just playing with does all those features, inrush, all that stuff for dirt cheap. So for troubleshooting, that's the one that I would recommend, or at least something that's going to read high resistance, because when it says OL on it, it says OL right here, and you're like, we'll read across our body right now. I'll show you. Plug this thing in. So we're in ohms continuity here. OL. We're gonna go finger to finger. I could even go from this finger to this finger, and we might not get a reading. Let's see. Let's see if we're really close. Do we get a reading? We don't even get a reading on that. So finger to finger here. No reading at all. It's not capable of reading ohms to a level that you need when you're troubleshooting. Pretty much all the Flukes can't do it. Not even the T6 can do it. The T6 is $300. So here's a crappy ideal. I think I got it for like $40. We'll go to ohms. Does not have a light, so I apologize. Just this one finger here. And of course it turned off. No, it didn't turn off. I was just impatient. Let's see here. Yeah, it just takes a minute for it to read. There you go. So if I drop one of these, it's reading across my finger right now. Now it says OL, which it should, because nothing's connected to it. When you're trying to troubleshoot hot to ground in a house with metal boxes, you don't need a multimeter that shows you OL. It's freaking lying. I hurt a lot of people's feelings today, apparently. And I don't know. I can't help it. If it doesn't read it, it doesn't read it. What's up, Tanner? For a minute, I thought you spoke Turkish. Yeah, I bet a $5 multimeter from Harbor Freight would prove the Wagos are the best. Yeah. Yeah, you need something that does, I'd love to speak Turkish. That'd be great, yeah. I didn't see the joke, man. Let's see here. No one laughed at your joke. Let me catch up. Good and tight, yeah. German specs. German specs, good and tight. Exactly. Yes, man, the FLUKE 376 is a great meter. It's also an expensive meter, but it's a great meter. This is the question. If you were to try to troubleshoot and you're running back and forth between all the outlets in the room, pulling them out, checking voltage, because when you're looking for a loose connection, typically leave the power on. That way you know when you found the problem. So you're not going to go to the panel, turn off the circuit, and pull every plug out of the wall. You're going to leave the power on, pull the plug out of the wall, and see if you get power as you're working. So the question is, are you going to take your $500 multimeter to every outlet, set it on the floor that many times, and test with, you know, no lead grabber, all that stuff? The A7V is a great meter. A7V, if you want the clamp on the 357, go up. Ideal is good stuff, though. Got that one at the house. Flukes at work. Yeah, the Fluke's a great meter, man. You can't deny the quality of a Fluke. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty troubleshooting of literally just bouncing around from plug to plug, not really aggressively, but, you know, the name of the game is to get it done quickly. I just prefer something with NCV built in with all the features. You left Fluke for FLIR. I've wanted to buy a FLIR. I used to mess with FLIRs. I can't remember what the name of the camera was. The $40,000 infrared cameras, and then we had a 43B, which is basically a freaking circuit analyzer for like $7,000. Maybe they're 14 grand. I don't remember how much they are. So we'd have an 87, would have a 117, which is also a good meter. 117 is not a bad meter at all. Had the 87 for voltage drop. And then we would be using the 43B. And we'd have a CT lead that was like 3 foot long. And we'd check, 3,000 amps at a time. And you just take that CT lead and you would individually weave it through every individual color of that phase. So if you had 6 4-inches coming out of the ground, you would have to spread the 600 kc mils, and get just the brown out of one pipe, and then go to the next pipe and get just the brown out of that pipe, and then just read the whole incoming amperage as a whole. Of course, while wearing a hot suit, and arc shield and all that stuff. So there's no doubt, man, Fluke makes the best stuff for measurements where it matters. But to my point, measurements don't matter. They don't matter in residential. IR is great for showing the customers the hot panel, or even showing them air leaks, but lacks the amp clamp. Fluke and FLIR are top dogs. That's true. Kansas Tool, yep. My 99-year-old neighbor fell outside the other night. Uh-oh. Thought she had a broken arm. She grabbed her pants and got up and called 911. She fractured her shoulder. Dang. Meter connects with my phone, and I can go to the panel, turn something off. That's cool. Tend to use the alligator clamp attachments for hands-free stuff. If I was like doing this every day, the problem is that I had a Fluke. My buddy called me to troubleshoot, and I couldn't do what I needed to do. And this thing was a Fluke. And they kept telling me, OL. And I was like, man, you spend $100 on a multimeter, and it's still not good for troubleshooting. You spend $50 on an ideal, and it's good to go. So it was more like an awareness thing than it was really crapping on Fluke. But man, it hurt a lot of people's feelings. Yeah, people misuse thermal cameras very often. very often. They look at reflections for hot spots. They don't compare the right things. You got to compare the same gauge wire, the same amperage breaker, the same amperage flowing through the wire. That's the most important one. If you got a 20 amp breaker with 12 gauge wire on it, one looks warmer than the other. They both need to be pulling the same amperage for you to determine if there's actually a problem with that connection. But yeah, I think that's all I got, man. I just want to play this multimeter, see if it was a keeper or not. The difference with the 460 that I had, the head actually articulated, so the head would actually swivel, and the meter was almost 4 inches taller, man. It was a big meter. I see a lot of people with the climb meter too, man. I go to a lot of job sites. I went to 19 job sites today. I see more Klein probably than anything. I've seen one T6. One. I've seen hundreds of Klein. And you know, electrician's not always there. Tools aren't always out. But when they are, you better believe I'm messing with them. Yeah, 19 Klein meters. Yeah, everybody's got that Klein meter, man. I just don't like Klein meters. It's just something. If I didn't have this ideal, I might explore it. Fieldpiece is something that I've always used for the last 20 years. I think I started school 2005, and for HVAC. So Fieldpiece it was. I had a FLUKE that did the microamps for the flame sensor. I can't remember what that meter was called. It was a 300, 302, 30. No, this is a 302. I have to look it up. It's a $400 meter clamp. It looks very much like this. How many HVAC guys do you see without a Fieldpiece? I don't see any HVAC guys without a Fieldpiece. I see more electricians that also do HVAC, kind of like some of these companies like Milestone and things like that. They've all got Fieldpiece. Yeah, they all have them. They work good too. The T5600 is a great meter. That's the one that I recommend. I'd recommend a T5. For troubleshooting, no. It's going to tell you the voltage. It's going to tell you whether something's physically connected. You're going to be able to ring and tone wire. You're going to get a visual red dot here when you find voltage. You're going to get an audible noise when you hit the voltage. The 101 is cheaper on Temu. I don't even know. Now that Fieldpiece basically won the wireless probe wars. We all have that. You make me want to go back and get the wireless one. I was looking at it today, the 480. I was looking at it. I'm never going to need it. Theoretically, how much would you be willing to pay for two 18-volt hammer drills by DeWalt, an impact circular saw, reciprocating saw, all older battery technology? Now, when you say the older battery technology, are you talking about this? Are you talking about the NiCads? Because, believe it or not, this is older battery technology. The power stacks here, and the tabless is what I would consider newer battery technology. So what they're still selling at Home Depot in kits is this stuff. It's still good, but it's considered older. If it was used and you were selling it, let's see. That's a question for Josh. I would say 50 bucks per drill, 50 for the impact circular saw, 2. I would say $310 tops. And that would be from a friend. I would say $250 on the marketplace with 2 5.0 batteries. I would say $250 pretty easily. Don't forget the Forge batteries. Everything's getting old, especially us. Yeah, my Forge, I don't have any Forge batteries in here. Here's something about DeWalt, though. Yeah, man, the T5 is a great meter. I can't breathe around mine. I think I'm going to give you guys the update. Because Josh is here and all the regulars, okay? This is going to sound a little crazy, so bear with me. Okay. Here. See this here? Knipex. This Fluke here. Okay. Those. I kind of want to do this live too, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. My Knipex here, new. My Fluke, new. Why would I buy 2 perfectly good tools? This is 50 bucks. This is 50 bucks, okay? See that there? Why would I have to do that? It doesn't make sense, okay? I'm going to show you something wild. Like wild, okay? Hang on. Hey, I'm about to get off. In about 5-10 more minutes.
When the girls are going to sleep, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, we have an air monitor. Air monitor. Bear with me, this is going to get wild, okay? Basically, your ppm 2.5s is what can get deep into your lungs. Your ppm 10s is slightly bigger particles. These are my allowables there, okay? If I put this here next to these, you're going to see where that starts to go up a little bit higher. We're starting to get to a 6, okay? We're not done. Hang on, let it get the TVOCs in there. We're gonna let it calibrate there for a second. I'm gonna grab a box over here. Should have been a flex box over here. I thought there was a flex box over here. Well, that's not good. Huh. What are we sitting at? 5.6. Let's get this closer. Just a little bit. So you see we got the HCOs going on there at 86. What do the HCOs do over here? Next to the dusty tools, you can see where they actually drop down. And we're next to the dustier tools. You see that? See that hitting a 3 now? No longer a 6. Going down to 55. This is going to drop. So our HCOs, our allowable HCOs is 0.5. So that's going to continue to drop to a normal safe level here. Just wait. It's going to go all the way down. This is what I'm dealing with. See, I've got mycotoxin embedded tools. I've got mycotoxin embedded things, okay, that are invisible, that I can't explain to you guys other than show you this. Do you see this? Do you see this? Okay, that is allowable here. This is safe. Okay, these are my ranges here. HCO 0.5 is bad. Okay, we're over here at 0.5. I'm gonna leave this shit here. I'm gonna grab this tool here. This makes no sense. Okay, we are going to put this tool. I'm not gonna touch it to my old tools because it's scary. We're gonna put this here, and we are going to watch this thing go up. Okay? We're just going to leave it there for a second and let it do its thing. We got the VOCs. Let's see what that's going to do. If I go into my Mustang and I put that thing in the center console, the alarm goes crazy. If I take this thing here, like I've got old planes, I've got my T5 Fluke that I can't breathe around. If I hold this here, let's see what it does. Let me see what it's going to do. You can hear beeping. You hear it beeping? The battery is trying to die. That is not cool. Hang on, guys. Let me put in my Mustang. As soon as I walk it away, you can see the HCOs drop. Let's see here. Hang on. Wish I had a USB. Hang on. Oh no, the battery's dead. Let's see if it'll stay on here. Hang on. Let's just leave it for a second. Okay, so it's reading now. Okay. Nope, it's not going to do it. Let me plug it in for you guys. Stupid. Let's see here. What do I have that plugs in? There's got to be a... Oh, I know it does it. This. Want so many mods? They're just here, man. Okay, we got a USB here. We'll do this. See if we can give this thing some output here. Of course, that's the wrong charger. Okay, hang on. There we go. Almost. Yes, this is the right charger. I want to show you what happens when I open this glove box, man. It's crazy. Okay. Okay. There we go. Now we got power. Okay, let's grab the contaminated tools. Let's walk them over here. Okay, so we're sitting about 170-ish with the tools. Let's go back over here. We're trying to calibrate this thing. PPM is 10. No contaminated tools over here. We're gonna let this thing get down to 0 and then we'll go check it out. What's up, Gear Jammer? You need mods for your mods? Yeah. The microtoxins killed the battery. That's probably what happened. Come on, hurry up, HCOs. We need this TVOC to start reading. And then we can start. Wasn't expecting the battery to die. It's almost down. Apache, yeah. Let's see here. We're at 75. I'll swing by and hang out again soon. Got to fix the dishwasher for the wifey. Catch you on the flip side. Man, I appreciate it. We're fixing to go back to the Mustang now. So HCOs are going down. We got PPMs at 4. What's the limit on my PPMs? 75 plus. Okay. Keep that in mind. PPM 2.5s are very deadly. Okay? That's what you guys are looking for. You ready? The car's even aired out. Okay? We're gonna set this in here. PPMs are at a 5. We got the HCOs going down. These are brand new car mats. I had to throw out my old ones. Okay, watch this. We're gonna open this center console. And I'm gonna put this in here. Let's see what the BPMs do. The last time I did this, this stuff went up to 100. So the VOCs are at 0.57. Let's see here. What's the allowables there? 0.5, so we're acceptable range there. Keep in mind, this is my office, so I'm driving around in this thing all the time. Hang on. I'm not actually seeing the fluctuation that I was expecting to see there. We had higher HCOs next to those tools. We got 5,000 CO2. What's the glove box do? .137. .37. We're still sitting at about a 3 for the ppms. You rebuke the mycotoxins? Yeah. Let's see here. It's probably because I cleaned that thing out. So what I did was I sprayed the console and wiped it out. But yeah, basically I was talking to Tools of Souls. I just got in the thing. And I was driving around. And I put that thing in the center console. And dude, it went up well beyond 75. And then if you look at like the allowable ppms, chat is one and the stream is another. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We've been on for long enough now. We're going to call it here. But you saw it here first, man. Wire nuts are definitely twice as good as Wagos. And 3 times better than Harbor Freight Connections Wagos. Two-hour and 10-minute Tuesday? Yeah. Killing it at home? Probably. We got some more stuff planned for you guys here pretty soon. I will leave you with a sneak peek. A sneak peek. There you go. There's your sneak peek. Coming up, we got the Knipex screwdrivers. We'll see you guys. Appreciate it, Denny. We'll see you guys. You guys want to see it? I think Josh wants to see it. Dang it, Josh. Why you want to see it? Here, we'll get it open for you. Wait. It couldn't stand it. They said he's serious. We better open it. Oh, what do I think about it? Oh man, look at that. Oh my goodness. All right, we'll see you guys. That's how you open glass jars. Oh man, I don't know. All right, we'll see you guys right here.